Thank you, guys. It's so happy to be here today. It's super fun, great day, sweaty day, but it's all good, And I love being here. We at Electric Outdoors, we are all about bringing people sustainably to the outdoors. We want people to be out there. We're not specifically for EVs, but we do want people to have the ability to go to the outdoors electrically. So we bring power to life in a fully self-sustained, built on renewable, principles, if you will, platform, so people can come to the outdoors and just enjoy it, doing whatever they want to do out there, even charging their electric vehicle.
And Pedro mentioned you earlier in the discussion, and I said, okay, are we talking to someone from there later? He said, oh yeah, by the way, he'll be here later. I didn't even know that. But yeah, but what the cool thing is what you're describing is that we can leverage batteries and electrification in a way that we just really haven't naturally thought about for maybe ever. It's just the idea of where can we own and move this energy storage to create opportunity for not an urban experience, but a rural experience or an outdoor experience.
Well, that's what we found. Many of the people in Electric Outdoors are from the outdoor recreational vehicle space, store industries and so forth. And we found that one of the biggest hurdles for people to go to the outdoors is actually infrastructure. And the fact that landowners, they don't have the tools, they don't have the amenities, the assets to bring people to the outdoors sustainably, especially not in a democratized way. You can buy an expensive RV and you can go to a lot of places, but a lot of the land is still locked because of, I don't have energy, I don't have water, I don't have waste. And our platform is unique in that way, that it brings energy, water, and waste in one fully portable, deployable platform. And now landowners can unlock their land and invite people to come and enjoy it. And at the same time, they're creating sustainable revenue.
There you go. Well, and so Jarret, how does that translate? Yeah, again, you're also in the same space essentially. We talked a little bit before we started. You've kind of been the entrepreneur that has just someone. I have an idea. I'm starting a shoe company. So you've done so many things. But then, as you were describing how you had that kind of inception moment for Lectric Boil, it was really based on the idea of how do we still allow for outdoor activities in a way that we're reducing our impact on, for example, any type of risk for wildfire, things of that nature. And then you kind of had that ding, dare I say, light bulb moment. But what was that all like? How did that happen?
Yeah, so Lectric Boil, we like to say we're working to allow for recharging and cooking anywhere. And it started with that, as you mentioned, started Pinker Detroit 10 years ago, making shoes, manufacturing Detroit, making things with upcycled materials and taking a self-care holiday. And in that process, going to a place where, because of wildfire season, they do not allow open flames, camping, where it's like, how am I going to boil water with no propane, no isobutane that I'm used to? And so it started that question of, is there a better way? Is there a possibility to boil water with battery power? And it started there, that question, that problem that I experienced then led to, well, let's do something about that and let's explore that. And there's Lectric Boil.
Well, and it's so interesting because it's like, there's plenty of homes around the country and the world that have electric appliances, right? So the application is like, well, that's here in the kitchen. It's like, that's not going somewhere with me. But as you described, that moment you start to have that idea of what could I do with this that actually could be portable, take it with me, make it so it's something that's going to have potential less risk. But then you also start to then partner with players that are really big in this space for wanting to showcase how you can use an outdoor electric vehicle and couple it with products like yours.
Yeah, and the beauty is whether you're staying at the Electric Outdoors space where we're working towards having our units available there, to you're in a place where you want to cook with no fumes, where if the weather's bad and you need to cook inside your tent or in your RV, there's no carbon monoxide poisoning, there's no risk of creating wildfires. We want to really meet folks where they're at, give them tools not just to cook, but to recharge. So our system's a generator. So you're able to recharge your electronics, cook your food, from disaster relief to just peace of mind. If the power goes out, we want to really be that solution that really provides that full, comprehensive solution for folks.
So as someone who owns an electric vehicle and likes to go camping, likes to go to the outdoors, this is fantastic. I was talking to him earlier and I said, hey, on social media, I've actually been bugging you to tell me when one is open so I can go. Because I want to get out there and I want to get out to the open areas, like you said, right? The space that would normally be locked. Because when I do go, I use an electric cooktop. I use my vehicle. I have a Rivian, and you can see one right over there, right? So it has the plugs. So I power everything off my Rivian, which means sometimes if there's no power for me to get all the way out there, then I may not be able to get to the next charger. And so I have to balance that, right? So I'm glad that
We'll
you guys
bring
are
you
doing what
home.
you're doing. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are doing this.
And the thing that's so neat about this too is that we're talking about how we're harnessing energy and distributing it in a way that we really can't. Arguably, you could do it with fossil fuels, but it still requires the fact you have to have a tank out there, get the tanker out there, fill it with gas out there, all these things. Once you get a battery in place somewhere, you can leverage a variety of different avenues by which you can then power that up, charge and discharge.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the principles I said we've designed our products around is renewable technologies. And the sun is free energy that we can harvest from, and it's a lot of great innovation taking place in solar panels, making them better, more efficient, lighter, and all of that jazz. We don't need to focus on that. But to do exactly what you said, right? Capture on the energy that exists and store it in multiple different ways. Not only gives you the opportunity to go to locations, but also do what Jarret is doing, right? Clean cooking in a safe and quiet way. You don't need generators gassing around and spitting out the fumes and all of that things. I was thinking about the food trucks over there, very noisy stuff. Electrify Expo should have
example.
some.
So the beauty of it is if you look around the show, I mean, talking about like stored energy. There's again like the Anchor products that have their batteries that power all of the show. Most events you go to, it's just you walk by an overhang like, brrr, you're like, okay, great. Like you said, we got to get everybody to see. And those food trucks that came out here, they may not have ever been exposed to the reality of like you guys could have products like what you're defining and describing that they could leverage. Right, so you find there's a customer. You're ordering lunch and you get a customer.
Amazing food, but it could still be done in a more clean, quiet way.
So again, timing-wise, again, entrepreneurially speaking, we were talking a little about your journey. When did Electric Outdoors really come to be that you said, okay, I got to start this, do this? How long have you been doing this?
Well, we started off thinking of it in 2022, started selling the vision, talking to people who can join you on a journey. Because when you build software-enabled hardware platforms, it takes money.
Oh, yes.
And if you don't want to spend all your own kitchen money, which I have, by the way, but if you need more money, you need to bring people along on the journey. So we started socializing it in 2022. We were fortunate enough to get a grant from Michigan early 2023 that, okay, let's go, let's do this. We incorporated the company April 3, 2023. And since then, we've been building prototypes. We've been piloting out there. Yes, Pedro, you will be able to come to a unit pretty soon. Yes. We are now in full-scale production. We have a facility downtown Detroit, right off Michigan Avenue, 23rd Street. Come and visit us if you want to. It's amazing to see how our product is coming to life, and we're super proud to go live publicly here in the next few weeks.
That's fantastic. So we got to have some sort of sample at some point at an expo, whether it's at the expo or hey, if you want to go nearby, there's one away from the expo. But that's the whole point is to showcase that that's how it works. Oh, and so you've got that again. You're coming to market with product. I mean, Jerry, we were talking a little bit about how timing-wise, you got some prototypes going. Similar timeline for you?
So we're aiming for an early 2026 launch. We're still in that. We're tweaking the engineering designs. At events like this, we're getting outstanding customer feedback of, wow, I wish this was just a little bit more over here, and a lot of affirmative experience too. So we're right now closing out our raise. So we're still open to folks who want to grow with us, but aim is 2026. We're in that process right now, preparing for that commercialization, and just excited to get it out and make it available for folks like you to extend that range. So you're not using up your battery power while you're cooking, and to have it in places like Electric Outdoors. We've got multiple stores who want to carry our goods, and this weekend you can literally look at it in the front of the Ford F1 Lightning. So making coffee all weekends here at the expo.
Oh, there you go. Well, again, and so to that point, so where can they find you here at the show for, again, both today and tomorrow? Where can they find you guys?
So we are all together, a couple of Michigan-based companies, startups, sponsored by Innovate Marquette. So you'll find us in the outdoor recreation aisle over there. I'm looking at it right now, over there.
over there. Yeah.
For the people that can't see what over there is, if you look, there's a truck, I believe it's a Tundra, with a rooftop tent sitting on top of it. That's the aisle.
That's the aisle.
So, and for those who want to find information, where do they find you online? Where do they find you on social media? How do they find? So let's start with Electric Outdoors.
Well, electricoutdoors.com. Bug us like Pedro on LinkedIn or social media, other social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. We need more followers, so come join us.
And for electric, it's electric with an L, Lectric, boil.com. Same for social. We're doing a drawing, so anyone that wants to follow us, they can enter for a chance to win one this weekend as well.
I love how it's just like basically there's going to be a picture of Pedro like up at your guys' office. It's like, if you see this man, just put him to LinkedIn, tell him to go there. Pedro, what else do you want to add? Again, you were the one that talked about this earlier, and again, I got to say, this to me is really, we're only now starting to lean in a non-urban electrification discussion around, again, aftermarket products, things about lifestyle experiences. Rivian and their products really speak to the adventure experience. That's, again, part of their mantra. But you're living it right now. You're driving an R1T.
Yeah,
You've been talking to them. What else do you have to add here, man?
Yeah, absolutely. So for people like me, right, that have that electric vehicle, that do this outdoor stuff, I really appreciate you guys bringing stuff like this to the market, because when I look at the UP, for example, I look at the map of charging stations and I go, okay, great. Now I can only go this far, and that's it. And people go, well, you have like 300 miles of range. Yeah, but I got to get there and back. So that's half, which means I can't go as far as you other people can go, right? Who can take, until they figure out a way to package electrons onto a nice little tiny box that I can carry with me and actually make a reasonable effort.
Energy density is getting better on batteries. We've proven that, but I see your point.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to the Anchor guys, yesterday night, and I said, hey, you need to make something that I can take with me in my Rivian and be able.
This was the question of how many miles per kilowatt hour and that kind of thing. Yeah. Well, again, I think what we're pointing to, though, is the fact that we've effectively made energy mobile in a way that we have as a society. We just haven't been thinking about it the same way. Right? We've just been reliant on the fact of like we have to go to some corporate thing, get what we need. This is, again, a paradigm shift in so many ways.
And what I appreciate with this conversation and what you guys are doing as well is that it's not a one solution. We need the software, for the vehicle and the drivers to be able to do what they want to do. I drive a Rivian myself. I also drive a Tesla and a BMW iX. And I can tell you the experience is vastly different depending on what vehicle you're driving.
Software is not software in the same way.
So you need software, you need the users, you need the platforms, the infrastructure, and you need the experience that continue to drive people to do what they want to do, right?
Well, again, without the products that are being developed and innovated around that are showcased at Expo, this is, again, tip of the iceberg for so many people. I think a lot of the times we go to different cities, this is the first time in Chicago, there's so many people that show up, again, they're having their first moment of talking about these things. They're having that moment of, wait, there's more than just 4 models of electric cars. They walk down this aisle and see dozens and dozens, they can go drive them, etc. But then they get into the micromobility, then they get into the 2-wheel, the 3-wheel, the 4-wheel, and then all of a sudden we're having a conversation about, oh no, actually, but by the way, there's these other aspects of electrification that revolve around what type of lifestyle you might have. This is something that is, we're starting a conversation right now with the public related to energy that is brand new. And a big part of that, why Expo exists, is so we can have these conversations in a way where it's approachable. Because we get done having this conversation and people can walk up to the two of you and say, okay, where exactly was that thing on display? Like, we're going to go find this thing? And that's fundamental to what's happening next as it relates to electrification reaching more people.
Absolutely, and I think it also speaks to what technology can do if you apply it in many different use cases and find the use cases that really speaks to people. I think we're all doing it, in our own little way. We specifically focused on driving people to the outdoors, but we are going to package our technology in so many other verticals as well. Think marine, think defense, think FEMA, think festivals like this. Why aren't there more electric, outdoor products here?
That's a great point. And, that's actually, when we were talking earlier, that's actually how I ended up saying about you guys, was because we were talking about electrification and EVs are not just cars. It extends to so many other things. And I said, hey, you know what? There's this great company called Electric Outdoors that's actually doing something with batteries that's completely different than a car.
What's powerful, too, is if we think about energy creation and we look at the local level, you've got people like Josef in Detroit creating manufacturing jobs, engineering jobs, where we're then putting these systems in places like Marquette so that when you're up visiting the UP, you've got destinations to recharge at. That's creating American jobs. We're creating energy independence with, American battery cells. And then with Lectric Boil, same thing, manufacturing in Detroit. We could have imported the tech. We could have made this overseas, but we're doing the hard work of saying we're going to invest locally to manufacture these proudly and then invest in that infrastructure in a new way.
Well, the infrastructure pieces, we've talked about it all day about what's happening with infrastructure. And also, again, job creation, that's talked about, I don't know, every single day when we all open up our phones and look at social media and the news. And this is fundamental to where we're going as innovators as a country. We have to have innovators and entrepreneurs that are saying, okay, where can we take this new technology and keep stretching it? We've really relied on what we did 60 plus years ago, 70 years ago or more, and we've kind of squeezed every drop out of that we can from both industry, from jobs, and the innovation has been stretched. This is a paradigm shift in so many ways. So Josef and to Jarret, again, thank you for doing what you're doing. Congrats on what you've already done this far. Looking forward to seeing the products here at Expo, obviously, next year. But for the prototyping, obviously go take a look at the Ford booth. So for those who are listening, this is the EV Reality Check booth. It's powered by GreenCars.com. This is the first day of Expo here in Chicago. We're closing things out. If you can hear our voices, a free t-shirt still awaits you here at the booth. Make sure to check out GreenCars.com if you are shopping for an EV. And also, if you have questions related to electric outdoors or Lectric Boil, make sure to stop by and talk to Josef and to Jarret. They'll be here at the booth for a while hanging out. I know Pedro's not going to let them leave because he'll be like, wait, I had one more question about why I can be allowed inside of your guys' facilities. So, Pedro, anything else you want to add before we close things out?
Oh, I would love to go visit your facility.
I did not mean to set that up, by the way, but hey, now it's happening,
That
right?
was a total setup.
I'm going to say, how far is this from your house? Because you're not exactly, you're in Michigan, so.
It doesn't matter. I drove all the way here.
by how far I'm going to be like, I'm walking over. No. Well, again, I'm just saying, you got an enthusiast who wants your product. Also, great feedback on what you could do. You could just get one put in your backyard, test it with your Rivian.
Hey, that sounds great to me. I've got a big enough backyard.
Now I'm signing up for things you never asked for. So, again, this is the EV Reality Check booth powered by GreenCars.com. Josef and Jarret, thank you so much for coming by. Pedro, anything else you want to add as we close things out?
Yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for what you guys are doing. I greatly appreciate it. And let's have a great day and see you guys tomorrow, too.